Welcome to Life with Mia, where I try my best to consistently live a life with meaning, intention, and ambition. As a result, I encounter experiences that I want to share with a broader audience in hopes to inspire or inform to some capacity. With that being said, let's get into this week's video. Contrary to my last video, I'll be sharing an experience from my freshman year that I'm actually so glad turned out the way that it did. I'd like to see it as kind of different puzzle pieces that eventually put itself together by the end of it, and I can't wait to share with you guys. So yeah, let's get started. So I officially declared child and adolescent development as a minor in my first semester of freshman year, which is commonly abbreviated to CHAD. And just some really general background as to why I gravitated towards CHAD is because my junior year of high school, I took AP Psych, and I was so invested in that class. Everything was so interesting. Each topic, it kind of just reminded me of, an everyday thing that I didn't know had a name for it. And it actually did cross my mind to maybe minor in psych when I got to college, but I feel like I kind of just mindlessly said that because I really wasn't thinking about my future. I knew that I wanted to be a nurse, but in the medical field, if you were to have a minor in psych, then you typically branch off into the mental health industry, but that's not really what I was going for, so I just brushed it off like, okay, not gonna minor in psych. Another crucial piece of background is that I've always liked kids. I've always liked being around them and their innocence and just how happy they are. And CHAD is basically children plus psychology, which are two of my interests put together. And so being able to act on such interests and it eventually evolve into a passion has been really cool for me the past couple months. And then it's even more perfect because I've always wanted to be a pediatric nurse, but if the pediatrics part doesn't work out in my career, because I haven't been exposed to really anything in the nursing world, so I might find something else that I'm interested in other than pediatrics. So if the CHAD minor in pediatrics doesn't work out, it's fine because CHAD is a major that students will take in order to become a teacher, and I do eventually want to become an educator to fulfill my wanting to inspire, so we'll see about that. So that is all for my background, and so now we're hopping into my first sem of freshman year, and this is really where a lot of puzzle pieces started to like fall into place and stuff. So it all started as my undeclared pre-nurse advisor putting in CHAD 70 into my schedule, which is a co-requisite for nursing. So I remember I kept saying that it reminded me of psych because it is, but for some reason I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that it was basically psychology with a focus on children, obviously. So that already had me intrigued. But then my professor was so amazing. She actually had us fill out a survey at the beginning of the year because she's really big on feedback, which is a great characteristic for a teacher to have. So basically the survey just asked what we expected of her and our ideal teacher. And little did I know that after I filled this survey out, that I perfectly described her. I said I really adored professors that are passionate because as a student, when you can tell that a teacher loves what they're doing and what they're teaching, that passion and just energy just rubs off onto you. And so like obviously I respect all of my teachers, but for these teachers I have a different level of respect for them to where I don't want to disappoint them, so I'll try my best in their class to, do good, give my everything for every assignment and whatnot. So as the course of the semester went on, I just remember always leaving the classroom telling my friends how interesting the content was. Time and time again, I would walk out saying that was such a good class. So even though it's called child and adolescent, this specific class was called Lifespan of Human Development in the 21st Century. So we talked about all of the stages of development, not just children. And so that means it applied that much more to me. Like for example, my current stage of development is called emerging adulthood, which is ages 18 to 25. So when I say this next part, I want you to think how this applies to you, if it does, if you're 18 to 25. So this stage of development is characterized by time of instability, identity exploration, self-focus stage, feeling in between, and the time of possibilities. Okay, so I'm surprised I haven't said her name yet, but my professor, Dr. Malik, had us doing an activity where we had to write down 2 things that fall under each of these categories, and it was just such an engaging activity, being able to reflect on things and the fact that I was able to fill out every single category so easily. It was just crazy and I loved it. Another thing we did was watch this TED Talk called 20s Are Your New 30s. I'll link it down below. It's really good and I suggest you check that out. And so after, when we were reflecting on the video, Dr. Malik was saying something along the lines of your 20s, you're practically reinventing yourself, and that all it takes is one person, one TED Talk, one experience to change your whole perception on how you want want to take on your life? And then she followed with a question, do you guys have anyone that has played this role in your life? And I remember just looking down my paper, taking notes, and I just laughed and said, you. Oh guys, by the way, she is the one who taught me human connection. Like, revolutionary, truly. I feel like I bring that up. I have brought that up in every single one of my videos, but I haven't dove into what exactly it means. I don't know if you guys truly grasp the gist of it and how important it is, but that'll be for another video. So yeah, that's that. And going back to a broader outlook on this whole thing, like the puzzle I've been kind of referencing to, it's just crazy how things work out, because a family friend of mine actually reached out to me saying that I should minor in CHAD, and I did not think too much about it at all. I said like, okay, like I'll look into it, but you know, I just said that. And like I said earlier about a professor's passion being contagious and rubbing off onto me, that was clearly happening. And so basically the universe just lined everything up for me, the people and the previous interests, and I finally just declared my minor in CHAD. And you can imagine just how happy this made me, because, you know, knowing my situation of how sad I always was, but also I was simultaneously just working on myself, being independent, all that. And I just feel like, you know, filling out this paper, getting those signatures, it was crazy how easy it was. I turned that paper into the registrar and boom, it was under my transcript that I'm pursuing this minor. And so I feel like it was truly a breakthrough for me in just like finding myself and what I enjoy. And can you tell? Like, it makes me so happy. So college being a new start, I'm sure that this can apply to the general population, that you're definitely way more eager, way more excited to start your future, work on your future compared to when you left high school. And so this whole thing just emphasized that for me so much more. I brought this up before that I never really thought much about my future, or let alone planned it. So I planned out my 4-course semester plan with the CHAD classes in it, and it fits so perfectly. For reference, I'm only taking 11 units this coming fall, and that's including the class for my minor. All I have to say is that AP credits helped so much. If you're in high school still and can take AP classes, it'll definitely help if you do want to pursue a minor, pursue another major, because you get gen ed units out of the way and you'll have room to pursue such things, you know? And another thing that I know that would have helped a lot that is offered to high school students is dual enrollment with your local community college to get some GEs out of the way. I say that like I wish I did this, but I mean, I don't know in the moment if I would have actually been down to, but just an option if you've heard about it but didn't think of taking it up. So back to my minor, I'm trying to take as many courses as I can with Dr. Malik because I literally love her. I'm not sure if this is the same for every college, but for SJ, a minor is 15 units, which is 5 classes. So this brings me to the second semester of my freshman year. I took another course with her. It was CHAD 162, and it was titled Childhood and Adolescence in a Multicultural Society. And let me tell you, this class was way better than CHAD 70. And like, can you imagine that? Like, I enjoyed CHAD 70 so much, clearly, and then this class just exceeded that. It's just crazy how things are working out like this. So going into CHAD 162, I already knew her style of teaching, that it was very discussion based, which is not everyone's favorite, but the way I saw it was a chance to better my communication skills. At the beginning of every class, we would always have questions of the day, and in CHAD 70, once both partners were done answering the question, it would just be awkward silence. And it kind of makes sense because it's like we're all freshmen and awkward, and it was our first semester, whatever. And I'm guilty of that, of just letting it be awkward. But in CHAD 162, I would ask a question to further the conversation and, you know, not make it awkward, maybe learn something about them. And it definitely did help my communication skills. Okay, so like 162 itself, I did not realize how engaging the content would be. Literally each chapter was titled culture and something, culture and something. If you see my Instagram, I've posted IGTV videos about it. It's like culture and health, culture and self-identity, you know, you get the gist. And so that aspect, plus my classmates being older and experienced, like they were CHAD majors, it was so awesome. I learned so much about everyone. The fact that the discussions just stemmed from people's backgrounds, their cultures, it was so interesting. And I feel like it was all information and experiences that are useful and that I can somehow apply to my life, you know? And I'm just really thankful her class was discussion based. Even her midterms, her exams weren't on paper, they were presentations that we had to put pictures in and narrate about it, how it applies to us, why we're interested in it. And so personally, I was able to express these well-articulated thoughts that have been marinating in my brain for so long for these discussions and tests. In conclusion, I am so happy that things panned out the way that they did. I'm so grateful. I am. And I hope that if you're in college or starting college soon, or even still in high school, that this video gives you an idea or just sparks an interest in you of wanting to pursue a minor in your passion. And you may not know that passion just yet, and that is okay, but I promise you there are so many minors, majors that college has to offer, and that maybe you can find something. To end off, I'm clearly so happy that I feel like I truly am finding myself and becoming the person that I want to be one step at a time because of things like this. So yeah, consider pursuing a minor in your passion. Maybe you'll feel the way I feel. Well, if you made it this far, thank you so much for making it this far. Shout out to my Finsta for again basically being the reason I'm able to post this video. Now I'm just rambling. I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, bye. Thank you. Until my next video. Bye.